We should raise them to be women. I mean, they don't have the parts, and that's fine, but let's raise them to be women. Women are superior. Women are better. Women are kinder. Women embody love. Women nurture. Women don't do the shit that men do. You see it forming in little boys immediately. We can't raise them to be men. We have to raise them to be women. I don't know how. I watch myself raising my boys. I'm tougher on them. I'm more physical with them. I'm doing it wrong already. I got to raise them to be women. I do. I mean, what really is the purpose of masculinity? Like, what purpose does it serve? It's created patriarchy. It's created capitalism. It's created religion. So what does this look like? I really don't know. This is about empathy. We teach our girls to care about different things than we teach our boys to care about. We talk a lot about looks for girls and self-care. I don't know the answer to this. It sort of does start with appearance and self-care for little girls, and maybe that's where it needs to start for little boys. Have you ever noticed how little girls take better care of themselves so as to not get hurt the way the little boys do? Caring about their physical person helps them understand pain. Not because boys are tougher, it's because boys don't pay attention. And maybe when they're not processing pain the same way, they're not understanding their own physical strength and how much they do, in fact, hurt women and themselves. This is all a bit of a ramble, but I think I'm going to try out more personal care, self-care for my boys. Them taking care of their physical being so that they value the skin that they're in. They care about their looks. Start boys where we start girls and go from there. I don't know, I'll just keep it going. I'll report back. If anyone knows the answer to this, let's talk. Let's have a conversation.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, fam. That might be the worst idea I have ever heard in my life. Okay, you need to raise boys to be men. I'm not gonna say whether men are better than women or whether women are better than men. I don't think that one gender is superior over the other. But one thing that I do know is that raising your son to be a woman is a terrible idea. A man turning into a woman, do you. I don't think that's a terrible idea. It's none of my business what you do. Go ahead, chop your wiener off. But as far as you just raising boys to be women and for them to conduct themselves as women, they're going to have a very tough time. Because they're going to conduct themselves as a woman, but everybody's going to continue treating them like a man. Right? And they're going to have the weight of the world that men have got to deal with. Right? And there's a lot of, emotional neglect, that men have got to deal with. There's obligation. You've got to sacrifice yourself for the greater good, even when you don't want to, and it's not fair, and nobody cares. Right? That's something that women really don't have to deal with as much. There are certain things that men have got to endure that just women don't. Like, for example, your life falling apart. If your life falls apart, especially if you have a family, there is no excuses as a man. It's all your fault. It doesn't matter if it's just you, if it's the wife or whatever, it's still your fault. Right? Now, however, if a woman's life falls apart, and even if she does have a family, if she's down in the dumps, she's doing the best she can. Right? You can all of a sudden hide underneath grace. Right? Women have grace. So you're going to have your sons grow up operating as if they have grace, the grace of a woman. Right? Not to mention, men eat their own. Like, we really, truly do, especially in competitive environments. Work, school, sports. It's full-blown, full contact, full speed, right? Full-blown war. Mental war, sometimes physical. It's a struggle, right? And when you're a man amongst men, if you're pushed to the ground metaphorically or sometimes even physically in the sport and you start crying and weeping, other men aren't going to be, trying to see what's wrong and checking to see if you're okay. They're going to call you a bitch or ask their buddy, hey, what the hell's wrong with him? They're going to look at you as weak. So I think that's a terrible idea, man. And I'm not saying that, men should be treated that way, but it's just the reality of it. You know, it's just the reality of it. Being a man is very difficult. Very, very difficult. Like sometimes your mental health will decline and you just got to white knuckle through it, through the other side. Or hope there's not another day. That was dark. But seriously, it gets that bad sometimes, especially when you have a family, you're a father, you're struggling at work, bills start piling up. God forbid somebody dies and you've got to take care of them, or somebody's dying and you got to take care of them, or they already died and you got to take care of their responsibilities, like their estate and everything. That's a lot. I mean, women deal with that too, but men are normally the ones that are expected to step up. you know? And when you're going through that, bro, you can't be sitting around weeping and sobbing and down on the floor. And, women can do that. But as a man, bro, you got to keep it together. You can't even go to other men when you're at rock bottom weeping and crying and shit. Because they're going to tell you to pick yourself up and to get to moving. What are you crying for? So I just think this is a bad idea. I don't think that boys should be raised like women. Like they just live in a totally different world. In my opinion, especially, especially if they're attractive, like pretty women have pretty privilege is real, men don't really have that. Men don't really have that. You just don't, that mindset just doesn't click for men where you're just expecting doors to be open for you and things to be bought, people to help you and to drive and pull over on the side of the road if you need help. Like that's just not an expectation if you're a man. However, if you're a woman, hey, especially a pretty, beautiful woman, yeah, that's expected. Someone to pull over and to help if you're struggling. I seen a video on TikTok not too long ago of a girl bawling her eyes out, right? Because she was on the side of the road. She was a black woman. And she said nobody helped her. And she was like, where are all the real men at? And she her mascara's running. She's distraught, That would not be the mindset if she was a man. She would have called AAA. She would have called a homie. She would have did something. She wouldn't have expected somebody to come on the side of the road to rescue her, to change her flat tire. Like she was just struggling. She had the tire in her backseat of her car, and AAA did come. But you guys get it, man. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I do think that women have a lot of great qualities and traits. Women are very empathetic. I think, women balance men out. They balance the world out because everything that men are, women aren't. For every lover, you need a punisher, right? I feel like men and women are like yin and yang. So you need those, you need those people to balance us out. You need women to balance men out. And I think that if we raise our boys to be women, we're just gonna have a serious problem on our hands. Or at least she's going to have a serious problem on her hands. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.